Hey friends, it's Miss Cindy. I have a small group activity for you that you can do at home. You might have some of these supplies and you might not. But first I want to talk about a story that's going to help us to do our small group. The story is Jack and the Beanstalk. Now some of you may remember this story. I'm not going to read the whole story today, but if you remember in the story, Jack and his mom needed some food. They didn't have any food in the house, so Jack's mom told him to go sell the cow to get some money. But Jack did not get money. Do you remember what he got instead? He got some magic beans. His mom was not very happy when he did not come home with money or food. But he had this magic bean, and he planted the bean, and the bean grew into a giant beanstalk. Remember after he planted the bean? Then it grew way up into the sky, all the way up into the clouds. And when Jack climbed up the beanstalk, he found a castle at the top of the beanstalk, a giant castle. And of course, who lives in a giant castle? A giant. But he wasn't a nice giant. And the giant had a golden goose that would lay the golden eggs. And so Jack decided that he was going to take the goose so that he would have the golden eggs, and then they would never have to worry about not having any money anymore because they would have lots of gold to buy the things they needed. But the giant was not very happy about that, and he tried to catch Jack. He said, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the smell of an Englishman." And Jack had to hide and try to run away from the giant. And he did, and he ran away and went back home and went down the beanstalk, and the giant came down the beanstalk after him. But the giant was so big and heavy that the beanstalk swayed back and forth and broke, and the giant hit the ground, and the giant was never bothered Jack again. And then Jack and his mom lived happily ever after because they had the goose who laid the golden eggs, and they always had money for food. So today, we're going to make a beanstalk. And you can make a beanstalk with different things that you have around the house. Some of you may have these toilet paper rolls or paper towel or toilet paper rolls. The big ones are the paper towels, the little ones are the toilet paper rolls. And I always keep these because they're fun to recycle and make different things with. And you can make a beanstalk. And you can leave them this color if you wanted to, or you could take a green crayon or marker and color them green if you wanted to make a beanstalk. You could take green wrapping paper or tissue paper and cover it to make it green if you wanted to, or paint it with some paint if you've got some paint at home. But I'm just going to leave mine brown today. And I have some different things to make the beanstalk. So there's lots of different things you can use that might be laying around your house. I got these little bread twisty ties that go on the end of your bread to keep your bread fresh. And I tied like 3 of them together, just wrapped them around. Or you might have some pipe cleaner around if you do lots of crafts at home. I have some pipe cleaner and some bread ties. I have some floral tape. You might not have floral tape. You could use just regular tape to tape them, or maybe a little stapler. I have a stapler here. And I have some rubber bands and some old flowers, fake flowers that have leaves and things on them, and you can use those leaves. But your beanstalk might not have flowers on it. That's okay. If you wanted to put them on there, you could do that too. So what we're going to do is take our tubes and we put them together. And sometimes the tubes are different sizes, so you can put them in just like that. You won't have to tape them or staple them. Maybe you can just put them inside there. And maybe you could use a little bit of tape if you wanted to, just to make it more secure. And you can make your beanstalk as big as you want it to be. Maybe you'll make it really tall, maybe it'll be taller than you are. Make it just as big as it will stand up for you. Okay? If you get it too big, it may not stand. Right? So we could keep going if we wanted to. Like I said, you can make it as big or as small as you want and see where you can go with this beanstalk. Do you think you could make it go all the way into the clouds, like Jack's beanstalk that went all the way up into the sky? I don't know. You'd have to have a lot of paper tubes, wouldn't you, to go all the way to the sky. So I'm going to take my bread ties. I'm just going to tie them around the bottom And they're easy to use because you can just twist them like that. And you might want to make them curly looking on the edges. You can wrap them around your finger to get them to curl a little bit. So I've got those on there, and then I can use, maybe I'll put one of these stems on here. I might be able to stick it right down into there like that. Stick it right down in the tube. I won't even have to use anything there. And here's my pipe cleaner. And again, you can just twist that because it's got a wire on the inside of it. And it'll hold itself on there. You don't have to use any tape. And then I'm going to twist that around my finger too to make it curly, like a little vine coming off of my beanstalk. So I got that going there. Let's see, I'll put a little bit of tape on here. Tape another leaf up on the top. Maybe another piece of tape to hold that on there. So you can do it any way you want. Get these rubber bands maybe and go around and make a curly little vine to come off. So we've got that there. So now we've got a great big beanstalk. I'm going to take some of this floral tape too and wrap that around. And that could be, you could use maybe yarn or ribbon or string if you have it around your house. So here's my great big beanstalk. Now, like I said, you can make it as big as you want to. You could make, if you have more of these, you could make some big ones and some small ones and put them together. And then, after you're done, you could take a ruler or tape measure and measure how tall your beanstalk is. Let's see how tall my beanstalk is. I'm going to see how many inches my beanstalk is. I'm going to count all the way. What's your guess on how big my beanstalk is? Do you have a guess? All right. Think in your brain. How many inches tall do you think it is? I'm going to count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. My beanstalk is 24 inches tall. Do you think you can make a beanstalk that's taller than 24 inches tall? Oh, I don't know. I think I made a pretty good one. But now I'm going to give you a little challenge. Your challenge is to see if you can make a beanstalk bigger than mine. And if you don't have any toilet paper tubes or paper towel rolls at home, you could do it with paper. You could roll paper into a tube and tape it together. Or you could use anything. You could use blocks. If you have blocks, Lego blocks maybe, you could stack them up and make a beanstalk. I want to see how big your beanstalk can be. All right, so get to work, make those beanstalks, and send me some pictures and see how big they are. Maybe they'll be bigger than you. You think they'll be bigger than mine? I bet you guys can do it. All right, get to work, guys, and have fun making your beanstalk. Send me those pictures. Bye.